The Economist has a fascinating article about how U.S. military bases are becoming more and more controversial around the world. So the U.S. bases in Okinawa are a big deal right now because of a recent rape and sexual assault scandal involving U.S. troops, and this actually isn't the first time. So, relatively speaking, the troops who are stationed there, they commit a decent amount of crime, and Okinawans are like, what the fuck? We don't want you here. You're here. And now there's stories of, in 95, they raped a 12-year-old girl. There was a gang rape of a 12-year-old girl. Recently, there was a totally different rape scandal. And Okinawans are like, okay, we need you to get the fuck out. Thousands of people marched recently in the streets. They're like, we want you out of here. You're occupying us. We don't fucking want you here. What are you doing here? And so now it's not just the bases in Okinawa that are, that have a scandal and are more controversial. It's also the bases in Turkey. They're coming into question because many people in Turkey think that the U.S. played a role in the attempted coup of the government in Turkey with Erdogan. Now, that's a difficult question to answer because I really don't know. The Turkish government is convinced that Gulen is behind the attempted coup. He's an Islamic cleric who actually lives in the United States. And Erdogan thinks the U.S. probably orchestrated the coup to get Gulen in there because Gulen maybe not would be more in alignment with what the U.S. plans on doing from here on out in Syria, though, again, I'm not sure. It gets very complicated, very complex. But there's a lot of people in Turkey who were already anti-American to begin with, and then now they're like, oh, well, fuck you. You got a military base here that you're using to do strikes in Syria and elsewhere. How about we try to get you the fuck out of there? And now the relationship has gone cold between Erdogan and the U.S. because after the attempted coup, there was a super, milquetoast response from the U.S. government when the coup was going on, where they're like, we hope for continued normalcy with Turkey. Those aren't the exact words, so forgive me because I don't recall them. It was a while ago, but basically, the gist of the statement was, like, we hope things can continue normally with Turkey after the coup. So it wasn't like we strongly condemn the attempted coup and we're on the side of Erdogan and he's our ally and our friend. It wasn't strongly worded. It was more like, let's hedge our bets. Whatever happens, happens. If it's the next guy and there is a successful coup, well, we'll still work with him. So Erdogan saw that. He's like, the Americans are behind this. So listen to, so now in multiple places around the world, these are just two examples, but in other places there are some lower level scandals and controversies about the U.S. military bases being there. But listen to these facts about the overall numbers, because this is incredible and a lot of people don't know this. They say, America has more overseas military bases than any other nation, nearly 800 spread through more than 70 countries. Of the roughly 150,000 troops stationed abroad, the total cost to the American government with war zones excluded is up to $100 billion a year. I had no idea it cost that much. It costs $100 billion to maintain these 800 military bases all around the world. I need you to stop and think for a second about what else that money can go towards. Dude, we have issues in the U.S. where some places have poisonous water. The infrastructure is so bad, and the decisions of the government have been so corrupt that you can't get clean drinking water in Flint. You can't get it in many other places. You think that could be fixed? According to a recent report, our infrastructure gets a grade of D-. As far as modern nation goes, our infrastructure is falling apart. A lot of the shit is the shit built from the New Deal, and it's just gradually been falling apart since then. And it's more and more corroded. Okay, we need to do a New Deal. We need to fix our infrastructure. We need to reinvest in our cities. Have you seen Detroit? The idea that just $100 billion, whatever, put a fucking base in Botswana and whatever, we'll blow money on it because this is our role, because we're the world policemen. Ah, yeah, human rights. don't look at our relationship with Saudi Arabia because it proves we don't give a flying fuck about human rights. But human rights, yeah. So got to have all these military bases or not. Look, I'm not saying get rid of literally every single one. What I am saying is, can we at least cut it by 50% and take $50 billion and put it towards something else? Yeah, we can. If somebody even tried to make the case that we need literally all 800 bases and we need to spend every penny of the $100 billion on this, I would laugh in their face. Because that's the silliest thing I've ever heard. As if we don't have problems here. So, we do need a radical realignment of priorities. In the United States of America, we don't even have single-payer health care. 45,000 people die every year because they don't have access to basic health care. Basic health care! And we're like, okay, $100 billion on military bases in random places around the world. Or not. It's not written in stone. It's not in the laws of fucking physics or nature that, well, we have to have all these bases and fuck over the people in the United States. We don't have to do that. We can change it. We just have to change the policies. That's it. And again, you want to do it gradually over time, fine, whatever, but let's start doing it. You can keep the most strategic ones that are most necessary, that's fine. But to have 800 and spend $100 billion a year, and then the saddest part of all, quote, when it comes to these bases, Americans for the most part are completely unaware of them, says David Vine, associate professor of anthropology at the American University. So we have 800 military bases, spend $100 billion on it per year, and Americans don't even know. They don't even fucking know. So I think it's time for a change, and I think it's time to fix our priorities.